Blow A-Train. Go over there, pull out A-Train's and blow him.
Sex is just a spectrum, right, bro?
To me, A-Train and the Deep have always been different sides of the same coin. Out of all the different members of the Seven, their situations seem to match each other's the most. See, Starlight was always against the evil at Vought. Queen Maeve was jaded but had a good heart and stood up against Homelander. Black Noir had always been one of Vought's weapon and one of Homelander's most trusted. With many replacements to missing members, we've had Sister Sage, Firecracker, Stormfront, who have all been on Homelander's side. So we have those who hate Homelander and those who side with him. And then we have the Deep and A-Train. For the longest time, they've been put in the strangest position. They're always being bullied and belittled by Homelander. And with these two, you could actually feel like Homelander was going to hurt them, unlike with someone like Queen Maeve, where he would mess with her, but not actually try to hurt her. Homelander's disappointment with these two characters was a main part of each season, but they always put up with it. In the beginning of the show, they represented similar things. Annie and Huey were parallels to each other. Huey representing the light of hope on the boys' side, where Annie representing the light of hope on Vought's side. The Deep and A-Train served similar roles in Season 1. The Deep essayed Starlight, and A-Train killed Huey's girlfriend. They were the main reason why we started hating the Seven from the very beginning and were rooting for the boys. They even end up going through similar situations like getting kicked out of the Seven and having to go through the Church of the Collective's procedure to redeem themselves to get back into the Seven. Everything seems to point them towards having similar character arcs. That is until Season 3. Season 3 is when we start to see A-Train actually seem to care for his community. He actually starts to chase real justice and not the false justice that Vought tries to promote. And that's because of his brother, who is genuinely a good person and has been with A-Train since the very beginning. His brother starts to confront A-Train about his fake heroism and how there are real people from his own community who are being oppressed and need a real hero to step up. And that is the main difference between A-Train and the Deep. The Deep has nothing to care about. There are white men in this world who face injustice. The Deep is not one of them. He has had everything handed to him from the very start, and he has abused his privileges his whole life. He has power, good looks, and status, and he hasn't worked for any of it. And interestingly enough, A-Train has had to work for most of what he has. He is seen constantly training his speed and trying to improve, and that is what caused his addiction in the first place. In Gen V, it's also revealed that A-Train was a top student while he was at Godolphin University. And on top of all of that, A-Train was the first official black hero of the Seven revealed to the public. The Deep was given all of these things handed to him. The Deep never had to struggle, while A-Train had to fight an uphill battle for it. In Season 4, we see more of the racism shown towards A-Train, where Vought forces him to do all these TV shows against his own will that are extremely racist, and even Tech Knight's comments towards him about Tech Knight's ancestors being slave catchers. You see, with A-Train, it's always something racist. It's always something of remark about him being black. Whereas with the Deep, all the insults directed towards him are not because of something he can't control, like his skin color or his sexuality, but for something that he can control, which is his own stupidity and his own actions, like doing an octopus, for example. With all that being said, it makes their struggle at the Seven a whole lot different. The Deep sucks up to Homelander because he wants to keep his privilege, because he's a spoiled man-child and he wouldn't be able to live without it. A-Train sucks up to Homelander because he wants to keep the power and status he's earned. Of course, with him, it's about ego. It's not some pure intention. But it makes sense considering how much he had to sacrifice just to get to where he is now. Seeing the recent events in Season 4 really emphasizes the change in character arcs these two characters are going through and how inverse they really are. A-Train killing Blue Hawk in Season 3 was the very start of his redemption arc. After his brother got paralyzed by Blue Hawk, he started to feel empathy for the damage Soup's caused. A-Train genuinely apologizes to Huey and doesn't show that just through his words, but with his actions, by risking his life to get him Compound V. He even went out of his way to save MM and act like a real hero for once. The Deep, on the other hand, does the exact opposite by telling Starlight he was the victim and he doesn't feel any remorse for what he did. He also kills his octopus girlfriend, which is supposedly the only one who actually cared about him. This is what makes A-Train's redemption arc so satisfying, and when we see the Deep's inevitable end, it will also be satisfying to see that. Two characters that seemingly seemed comparable in the very beginning have changed and become the exact mere opposites of each other. A-Train becoming more empathetic and actually starting to care for the community and being a real hero, while the Deep becomes more of an asshole, feels even less remorse for the evil he's done, and has not even attempted to try to reflect on the actions he's done. I love breaking down powerful character arcs in writing like this, and if you want me to help you write your own powerful and intricate character arcs like this, I have a writing community where you have direct access to me. So if you want me to help you develop your own story and characters, click the first link in the description.